It's Dragon Ball time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the SH Figuarts Zarbon figure. Another new figure, because I say that this SH Figuarts lineup just bombards you with Gokus and Vegetas. But no, Zarbon, the right hand of Frieza, one of the most important henchmen of the big evil. We had a look at Dodoria not too long ago, so obviously I had to get Zarbon. Very cool design and just like a necessary addition to the Dragon Ball lineup. So let's get into it. Oof. This one's really weird, and I'm not trying to be an asshole and talk about his outfit. No, the figure itself is... Yeah, first and foremost I'm going to have a look at the size. He stands at about almost 17 centimeters to the top of his head, which means we are going up to 6.3, almost 4 inches tall. Size comparisons. Here's Jalter, NECA Michelangelo, SH Figuarts Son Goku, and the Awakened Goku, Freezer again, Dodoria, and Darkseid. Alright, so really enough, first impression of this figure was not great, but you know, I was like, I gotta take a step back. First and foremost, this is another figure from Vietnam, I think, if I remember correctly. Let me have a look at the box. Yeah, it's one of the Vietnam releases. As such, there will be some, I don't want to say issues with it, but differences. The first thing that I always talk about is, like, the Vietnam figures are generally a little bit cheaper, so I don't mind it. And as such, cuts are to be expected. And this figure barely has any paint. The paint on the face, however, is exquisite. I mean, the eyes are perfectly painted on there, and I especially love the detail in the forehead and the earrings. Like, there's some blue on it, there's some silver on it, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I have zero complaints with that. The hair, I don't know, it looks kind of muddy. Now, that was my first impression, but now that I look at it again, there's still a decent amount of detail in it. I don't really like the color of it. It would have looked nice if it was actually painted, I guess. I mean, the color is this ugly green, don't get me wrong on that. It's still accurate to the show or the manga. Well, not really the manga because it's all in black and white, but you know where I'm getting at. Also, there's a little bit of gold in the back. Now, the entire Saiyan armor, we've seen it a billion times. I love how it's molded though. Like, his chest is really wide, and that's accurate because he's a hunk. Like, look at how sexy this guy is. The proportions are on point, not just for the armor, but also, let's see, for the paint, I think the side panels are not painted. I think the brown in the middle is, and then for his armbands, I think also this more molded plastic, which could be painted on the upper part a little bit over here, I think the skin tone, and down here you have the sleeve, which is rolled up just a little bit. That's also painted. And down to his crotch piece, ooh, sexy. I mean, it's a crotch. And then that's all I gotta say about that. And also very muscly in the legs, like this guy never skips leg day. And there's also some swivels down here. Once we'll get to the articulation, a little bit shinier in the knee because of the joints, and then down to the shoes, which don't really have any detail on it, but they don't need to, they look accurate. And I think, yeah, there's again a little bit of blue painting on the sleeves, on the well, kind of like the stockings or whatever he's wearing. I don't really know. And of course, you have a big cape in the back, which has actually nice blue. Is that painted? The blue looks pretty good. So I don't think it's painted, but it still looks good. So I mean, there is the back detail and also the ass, which looks weird, but it articulates well. So I'm not hating on it too much. But you know, if you like your Zarbon ass, I'm sorry, guys. Now for the articulation, the cape is just packed in actually, so you do have a hinge on there, and maybe, let's see if I pull it out a little bit. Let's try some experimentation with that. That still doesn't really have side-to-side movement, so let's not bother with that. Also it made a weird noise. Did I break it off? No, it's still on there. The big braid is on a ball, so you can rotate that around for some cool action poses. The head moves back and forth quite nicely actually, and to the back. It's a little bit blocked by the hair, obviously. And let's see if it does tilt side to side. Again, bit blocked by the hair, but you have some of it, and also it can be used as a swivel, so you can bring it all the way around, but I'm blocking myself with the braid right now. And you also have some neck articulation, really pulling that forward to admire his own chest. Like, look at how ripped I am. And then to the back, looks up fairly well. And then you have hinges on his panels on the side. And we have the big butterfly joint, which brings this entire piece forward, obviously. Wherever the shoulder pads doesn't look nice, but it's standard stuff for Figuarts, so you bring that forward. It's also packed in there, so you can rotate it around and shift it, also left and right and up and down. And you still have the big hinge in there, so you bring that up and down. And also bicep swivel, the double hinged elbow, which I think the elbow has a little bit of a different color than the rest of it. Well, maybe it's painted then after all, because if this just molded plastic, then how did they not have the exact same color for that? Answer me that, Bandai. And then you have a hinge, ball hinge for the fist, bring that back and forth, up and down, and also rotate it all the way around. For the chest area, boy, super duper nimble, goes forward quite a lot, and to the back, not really. That seems to be the case these days. I mean, the way it's molded, obviously, it also would prohibit it from going any further back, but since we have this nice arch in the front, yeah, you're getting a lot out of it. Now for the crotch piece, which, well, the crotch piece just went bye-bye. There you go. Okay, moving it around makes a weird noise, makes an ugly noise. Do have some wiggle motion in there, back and forth, and side to side. We don't really have that because it doesn't have any room. And yeah, the swivel, I already did that. Kicks, goes forward, out to the side, and not even to the back. Wow, okay, I guess. I mean, yeah, the way it's molded, you can bring it up like that. That works. And we also have some rotation up in there, just a tiny bit, just a teeny tiny bit. This just looks weird, this joint. Like, it's kind of like the classic stuff what they've been doing, but this is kind of, usually it doesn't just end there. I guess it's because he has the small panties. We have the stocking swivel, I mentioned that beforehand, and the knee has another double hinge, and the foot is on a big ball hinge, which I prefer than the double ball packs that they usually do. It looks super clean for this figure. It doesn't have the greatest range, but it has a beautiful pivot to the inside and also outside. And also you can rotate it all the way around, and you do have a toe hinge. And now for your accessories, and I want to start off with the faces because they're amazing. Like, A+ on that one. I love the expression, the anger expression, and just kind of this mildly annoyed expression, and also the paint on it is fantastic. And finally, also there's a little bit of blue line work under the eyes and between the eyes, which I don't really agree with that one, especially on this figure. This looks like getting punched in the stomach by Vegeta, or whichever one it is. The mouth is kind of weirdly molded because they just kind of painted it black. It doesn't really have a lot of depth to it. Not that there's really a big issue. I love also that his head ornament is moving a little bit to the side. What I don't really agree with is the weird line work, especially between the eyes. They should have just left that. But hey, I was complaining in the entire review that he doesn't have any paint, so there you go. He has paint where I think he shouldn't have. Then we have this hairpiece, which has a little space on the side for the scouter, which is tiny, but it's a scouter and it's nicely painted. Once more, wow. If they want to paint, they paint well, so that's very much appreciated. By the way, how do you put the scout on? You just take the ear off. On all the figures, you can take the ear off, except on this one, the ear is already off, so you know, they kind of skip the step for you there. You have a longer braid, and it is longer, but this is mostly for when you just kind of want to drape it over his shoulder, make him look like a badass. And as I was saying, this is definitely longer than the other one. Like, you have this size, but then it goes a little bit up to extend, and it also ends on a ball, so you can have them double braid if you want to. I think that's really cool. I think that looks cool, looks badass. Probably gonna do something like that with that. And then finally we have two flat blast hands. We got the one open blast hands, yeah, just the one for his right hand, weirdly enough, and we got two not even really grabby hands, but they're just there to hold the Dragon Ball. What Dragon Ball, you might ask? The one I've been keeping in the box this entire time, because if I leave it on the table, I'm just afraid it's gonna fall off. Not the best connection as usual. You know, I'm always talking about these things that I rather have a hand that holds on to the Dragon Ball, period, or make a small hole into it, or something like that. I mean, yeah, but then you cut up the Dragon Ball, Payne, and you can't display the Dragon Ball by itself, which I don't want to do anyway, so who cares? I wanted to put the Dragon Ball in his hand, but it already fell out of his hand and rolled off the table before I even could put on the camera. So fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. Final thoughts of this figure. I love this figure. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. So don't you dare hate him just because he's beautiful. No, but seriously, the figure's great. There's a lot of great detail, especially in the muscle work. And even though I whined about how there's not any paint, it still looks good overall. It doesn't really detract from a good looking figure, a great looking mold. Excellent articulation also, I feel like. He moves around very well. And the accessories also deliver. You have the long braid, you have like the face sculpts, which are amazing. And other than that, yeah, this figure works for me. And I think it will work for you if you're looking for a good Zarbon. This is definitely one to pick up. And that's gonna do it, guys. I do recommend this one. I feel like it's like I was saying at the beginning of the review, it's a necessary addition to the Dragon Ball lineup. And I'm only wondering if they're gonna do like a full power form. I would buy that. You know, the big monster face he has. Excellent stuff. So yeah, that's gonna do it as usual. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Zarbon wants.